The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention when you were just talking to me.
Yeah.
I missed you guys last
This
week.
is way too early for me. Is this the last time I have to get up this early? I didn't even have time to make coffee. Like, I have no coffee.
This is what do you mean? What time do we usually do? I forget.
2.
Yeah, 2.
Which
Just
really
an hour
means 2:30.
Yeah, I know. It's an hour difference.
Because somehow I'm now on Dominican time. I don't know how that happened.
I know. It's okay. I think you deserve it. Last one I think was a little bit too rushed, right?
Every person in my life now is Dominican. I don't know how that happened.
I thought you were
I'm
racist.
sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Wait. Let me rephrase that. Every woman in my life now is Dominican. I don't know how that happened.
Well, I thought you were racist.
I'm just doing it wrong.
Yeah, you are. Get it together, my friend.
I read your text message. I was in a group of about 9 people when you texted me that the other night.
Oh, I thought you were racist.
So I got to tell everybody home. So this is great. So intern girl sends me a text message and she goes, "I'm at the Latino Images Awards, and some woman at my table is talking, and she asked me what I do, and I told her that I work for you, and she said, 'Isn't he racist?' And I said, 'Look at me. Just look at me.'" I had to make sure I got it right before the pause.
You did it right. All right, Papa Pause.
All right. I want Papa Pause out of you.
She did it. Yay.
I didn't hear any Papa Pause. I just saw hand movements.
Stop. Be nice.
All right, fine. Oh, wait, I gotta share the show. God damn it. This is just gonna be a shit show for the whole program. Is just gonna be crazy.
We're fine.
Steve Gillis is already waiting. You know, he's not a bad guy. I don't care what anybody says.
Who?
Steve Gillis. Sometimes I want to kill him, though. I gotta be honest with you. But overall, I think he's not a bad guy. More Papas, and I expect to hear it this time. All right, we got her.
She's dancing too.
Listen, I almost endorsed Juan Manny Gonzalez, but he wouldn't do the Papa, so that was the end of that.
He did it the last time he was
No,
here.
he pretended. He moved his lips, but I went back and I made sure. I listened to the tape. I don't want anybody to get away with any shit on this show. She's on the floor over there.
Oh, I feel bad for Manny. Did I feel bad or no?
I feel bad for Manny because he got. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's get through the sponsors and then we'll hit that topic.
All right, you ready to
We
go?
can get a chance to talk about the election because you weren't here.
I know. I missed you guys.
Yeah. Wait. It's like on MASH now. You wait for it. Everybody. Oh, up, shoo up. This is the extent of dancing that you're ever going to see out of me. Unless you listen to scumbag Diddler Debo Brown.
He's probably watching.
Did you see the video he made? Hilarious. He was so despondent on Election Day. Like, so unbelievably despondent. When I walked into City Hall, he was crying. I think you could fade that out.
What was he doing in City Hall?
Well, because he doesn't live in Lawrence. He doesn't work in Lawrence. But he likes to meddle in Lawrence. And so he was in City Hall. When I walked in, he was in City Hall. And I didn't recognize him because I don't know why. I'd been up for 2 days and I walked in. And so I just saw these 2 people sitting on the bench. So I said hi. And then as I started walking past him, I realized, oh my God, that's Debo and his nursing home girlfriend.
Ay, Dios.
I'm just saying.
Why nursing home? She really looks that old.
She does, yes. And she's probably a really nice person. You got to feel bad for her that, like, she's got enough problems dealing with him every day, right? Yeah. Especially after you knocked her out in the first one. You know it's probably going to be going on this time, too.
He hits her, too?
So I'm just assuming. I mean, guys that do that don't just do it once, right?
Yeah, they are repeated offenders.
So I walk in. He's crying. He's all upset. Then I was with Lenny Mira, who, by the way, we're working on a documentary. So Lenny Mira, former state rep Lenny Mira, who's been a guest on the show, spent a lot of time on Election Day with a video camera going around to the different polling locations and getting what we call B-roll footage, which is like when, you know the documentary that I was in called Lawtown?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how like I narrated like 90% of that, and while I'm narrating, it's showing video of like me driving around, going to police calls and stuff. But it's got my voice narrating while. So that's called B-roll. It's stuff that like you're showing while you're doing something else.
I really thought B-roll was something else. I took a class in MCTV, and they said B-roll was the backup recording.
Yeah, it's a backup. So it's like it's not
like the original recording, and then there's like a backup.
So you know when you watch the news and the guy comes on and says that there's an oil spill in Texas, and they show an oil rig, but it might not be the actual oil rig that they're talking about. It's just B-roll footage of some oil rig.
Okay.
And most of the time, by the way, when you watch the news, the B-roll footage that they show is literally nothing to do with what. It's not specific to what they're talking about.
Okay.
So you'd be talking about like a house fire in Tewksbury, but the house fire that they're showing on the B-roll footage is probably not the same one, right?
That makes
so
sense.
A lot of times it's just it's like stock photos. So he was going on doing that on Election Day, and he was in City Hall with us. And normally on Election night, when you go into City Hall, the place is packed. It's like 500 people in there, and everybody's cheering for whatever candidate just walked in.
So they go in there to get the results, right?
Yeah, well, so in the old days, they went there to get results. Now everybody... So it used to happen when I was growing up, all the way up until about 10 years ago, everybody went to City Hall, and they announced precinct by precinct over the loudspeaker at City Hall. Okay. At some point, they stopped doing that. So when they used to do that, the candidates would have their supporters there. And then somebody from one of the supporters would call the candidate and go, okay, we got the numbers, you won or you lost. And then they would come in and everybody would cheer. And they'd usually make a short speech to their supporters, and then the next candidate for some other office would come in and do the same. So I wanted Lenny to get a video of that. I wanted him to get the City Hall. Like, you know the footage they have of Brian 4 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know why this is still on, even though I turned it off 7 times. Silent mode on.
The video of Brian.
So we had Brian from a year ago, but apparently, like I was either a couple of hours off or it didn't happen on this year on election night. So, anyways, I'm in City Hall, and so I walk in, and it's Debo, and the new punching bag, and it's Gary Mannion is sitting there alone with his mom, and he's podcasting the actual numbers.
Okay.
Now I walk in, I've already got the actual numbers. So I just came from someplace where they were getting the numbers. I can't say where. I was asked not to say. So I walk in and I know who's won. Like I get it. And I look at Debo and I got a pretty good feeling he knows who's won too because he's in tears.
Mm-hmm. He was literally like crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he starts his bullshit. He's threatening me and I'm not afraid of you. You got guns and you have to have guns because you're so afraid of me. Like he thinks everything I do has to do with him because he's a narcissist. But I'm looking around and I'm going, I'm paying Lenny to do this, and there's literally nobody here. So I texted Andrea and I said, where is everybody? She said, headquarters. So I said to Lenny, hey, listen, the Methuen numbers are still coming in. Let's hit headquarters. Diddler Debo only heard half of what I said. He heard Methuen. So after we leave, he does a video, and he's in his car, and he's despondent. It's still online, by the way. It's on my page. It's also on his, at least the last I checked. And you can just see how totally despondent he is, because he now knows after weeks of posting photoshopped documents, this time we've really got him. They're gonna drag DePina off in handcuffs this time.
A bunch of people said that after he won. They were saying wait till they see
wait, get
what
your
happens.
popcorn, yo.
Wait to see what happens.
Let's pop it. Was cracking, yo. Right. So they're doing. So he's doing all the homie bullshit, which is hilarious because he spent the last 25 years living in a white neighborhood with a white woman, living a white life, and then he comes to Lawrence and he's doing popping and cracking, yo, right? So, so he does this video and he's so and despondent is the only word that I can think to use, and he doesn't mention Brian DePina. And he doesn't mention the election, which is the reason why he's just like so out of his mind.
He makes it about you, right?
He made like an 8-minute video about me. And he's going like, oh, yeah, Tom's, Duggan's, yo, little TJ's, yo, was out like at TMF, when he's there with the teenage girls, yo. He be chilling, snapping, and dancing, but then when he walks into City Hall, he's got his cane, like he can't walk. Like, yeah, okay. So what was the other thing that he said? He said like a whole bunch of things, which is ridiculous. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it a day later or 2 days later, I'm watching this and I'm going, wow. I'm not just living rent-free in this guy's head. I've got like a 10-year lease.
Yeah.
Because
What is his obsession with?
Brian spent 6 months telling people that he was so powerful he could take down a sitting mayor. And when it was all over, he couldn't even save a district councilor when he was on. Neither could Julissa Nunez. Neither could any of these people. They spent the last 6 months of their lives truly convincing themselves that Brian had no chance of winning. And Brian ended up winning by almost the same exact amount that he beat Candace Vasquez 4 years ago. In fact, they were so good at convincing themselves that they had me convinced. On election day, I was running into people and they were asking me, what do you think is going to happen today? And I said, I think Brian's in trouble. I'll be the first one to say it.
You texted me that.
Because it's very seldom that I'm wrong like that, especially on election day.
Yeah, but you wrote an article saying he was going to win by
I
about
did.
500
I
points.
did because conventional wisdom said he should have won that election by between 400 and 600 votes. That's given everything that we knew at the time, unless something crazy happened. But then I started like watching what was going on the ground. And here's the other thing: you always know, and I always say this, and it's 100% true. The candidates always know. They may not admit it out loud, but the candidates always know if they've done what it takes to win that election on election day. And the proof of this is 4 years ago, I thought Kendris was going to beat Brian DePena.
Really?
And I ran into Brian at noon at the South Lawrence East School. He was literally the only one there. There was no people canvassing. There was no people holding signs. That was it. There was just voters going in, and he was coming out. And I was on my way to take pictures, and he looked at me and he smiled. You know that big little boy smile that he has, right? That mischievous smile that he gets. And I looked at him and I said, Brian, do you have this or not? Like, do you think you made it? And he said, Tommy, 100%. 100%. And I looked in his eyes and I knew he meant it. And I went, holy shit, this guy's going to fucking win today. Like, he's going to actually win. So I was on Facebook for the rest of the day saying, I don't care what anyone tells you. Brian has this today. He's going to win. Because the candidate always knows, right? But I didn't get a chance to see Brian on election day. And I ran into Manny very late in the day at the Frost School. I feel so bad for Manny. He's such a good guy.
Me too.
And I...
But who was he surrounded by?
We tried to... One of the most frustrating parts of my job is that I get to know stuff that most people don't know, even the people that are involved in what's going on. And when you try to tell people, when you try to warn people about the way things are really going, not the way they see them, and they don't listen, I like to call it the Roger Toomey effect. Now, Roger's passed away, so I don't want people to think that I'm bad-mouthing him. But I used to call Roger and I'd say, hey, Roger, listen. Roger was a city councilor in Lawrence. And I'd say, hey, Roger, listen. At the next school committee meeting, at the next city council meeting, Willie was mayor. Willie's going to do this. He's going to put a proposal before you. But he's really doing it because he wants this. And he's depending on you to vote no. So in the next meeting, he can go, but Roger Toomey voted against children or whatever. And I explained to him what was going on. And his answer to me would be, 100% of the time, well, do you have proof of that?
Oh my God.
Right? Like you see her rolling her eyes, right? And I'd be like, listen, I don't live in Lawrence. What do I get out of making that up for you? So then it would happen. And a week later, I would call him and I'd go, okay, listen, I know you didn't listen to me last time, but at the next meeting, this is what's going to happen. So-and-so is going to make the motion because they want to be on record. And I'd lay the whole thing out for him and he'd go, well, what's your evidence?
Stop talking about him. I just got chills down my back.
And I'd be like, what do you mean? What's your effing evidence? What do you mean? I'm calling to help you. I must have had 20.
Why is it that people don't believe you? Your track record is like perfect.
Almost 100%. Like, I'm not going to say 100. It's like 99.999%. I have had this conversation with DJ Beauregard several times just during this election. And now I'm going to lay it out for you guys so that all of you know, but I need more water because I'm getting cotton mouth.
I'm getting it for you. Hold on.
I told DJ Beauregard there was a cabal going on during this election of Latino candidates and prospective candidates for the future, people with money, people who are successful business people, people in Methuen who are not real happy and don't trust DJ Beauregard as mayor. And a lot of them are friends of mine. And they came to me and they said, we want to take down DJ Beauregard. And I like DJ, even though we were at war for quite a few years. We're trying to repair our relationship, and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's good for his word. And I gotta wait for her to come back because she needs to hear this. I can't be repeating it when she's this year. Did you hear what I said while you were out of the room? All right. So there was this cabal of Latino business people, prominent people in Methuen who wanted to take out DJ Beauregard. And I'm trying to help DJ, even though he really kind of doesn't deserve it. We were at war for a few years, and we're trying to repair our relationship. So, okay. So I sat with them. They asked me to sit in one of their little meetings about taking down DJ Beauregard. They were going to do it this year. One of them was going to run against him this year, and if that person had run, would have cleaned his clock this year. It wouldn't have even been close. And we had a long conversation over food, which is always a good way to get me there, because I'm fat now. And I said, listen, I actually believe, and I don't know why, but I actually believe that the guy's word is worth. He's worth his word. He's good for his word. I really believe that he is good for his word. And even though, he still plays the manipulation game of, the pretty language of politics to lead you to believe one thing when he's really saying something else, I really think his intentions are good. And I think if he gives his word, he'll keep his word. So Patricia Valley happened to be in on this meeting, and she said, ask him if he'll endorse me. So I texted him from the meeting. While this was going on, I'll even tell you where we were. We were at La Greca over here in Lawrence.
Oh, I love La
Okay.
Greca.
So, and they have a great Cuban sandwich, but they call it something else. I can't remember what they call
Club
it.
sandwich.
Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. So I texted him and I said, hey, I got a question for you. Would you be interested in endorsing Patricia Valley for re-election? We had a back and forth about what he wanted me to support Mike Samad, who I'd rather punch in the face than endorse. But I agreed. I said, you know what? Mike Samad's going to be a better counselor than what's his name, Shabilia. So, okay, you know what? I'll endorse Mike Samad. You endorse Patricia Valley. I finished the text conversation, and I said to this group of people who are now I didn't show them the text. It was just between me and Deej. And I said, he gave his word. And I asked him, are you giving your word? And I even said to him, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just say that. But if you're going to do it, I'm going to put some things in motion that if you don't keep your word are really going to hurt you in the long run. This is not going to be a good thing for you. And they never fucking listen. Intern girl, it's the Roger Toomey effect. It doesn't matter how many times. Certain people like Kristen Maxwell, she listens, she gets reelected. People like Patricia Valley listened, she got reelected. People like the future Mrs. Duggan, Yanilda Santos, followed my advice to the T, and she won because she listened. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I am saying
experience matters.
Don't ask me to fix your car. I'm not good at that. But when it comes to elections and it comes to candidates and it comes to shenanigans, I'm an expert at this. I've been doing it my whole life. And so DJ gave his word, and so I gave them my word that he would keep his. And then he didn't. And so now you've got a group of at least 8 people, some of whom are now elected, some of whom could run and easily win if they wanted to run. They've got money, they're business people, and now they hate DJ Beauregard. Not because he didn't endorse Patricia Valley, but because he gave his word and he didn't keep it.
Got it.
And they all were telling me through the whole campaign, Tom, this guy's got you fooled. I know you're good at what you do, but this guy's got you fooled. We know people that are friends with him. We know what he's saying behind the scenes. There's no universe where he endorses Patricia Valley. So a week, 2 weeks go by, and I text him, hey, you still going to keep your word on that? By the way, if I was the kind of person he is, I would actually screen capture his text message and post it on friggin' Facebook, because his answer was, Tom, what do I have to do, rent a billboard? I'm going to endorse Patricia Valley. How much more clear can I say it?
Wow.
That's what he said. How much more clear can I say it? Then it became, well, I'm not going to do it next week, but she's having a fundraiser. I'm going to do it at her fundraiser, at her kickoff. Then it became, well, we got some timing issues. We're not sure. The moon is in Capricorn, and my astrologist said, it was every excuse in the world. But he would never actually come out. And this is the problem that I'm having with the mayor of Methuen, and the problem everyone at home should have with him, is that he gives his word, he doesn't keep his word, and he's unapologetic about it. That's the problem.
You asked him here.
It's right. I asked him here.
I'm not here to talk about anybody else, just myself.
Did I say before? I didn't want to hurt his election, right? So he was here the week before the election, and I said, hey, before you leave, anything else you want to talk about, like any endorsements you want to do? No, I'm here for me. I'm not here for anyone else. I could have said right there, well, you gave your word and you didn't keep it. You're a piece of shit. That's what I wanted to say. But even though I knew he was going to win by at least 80% because the one running against him was crazy and had no money. Still, I wanted him to come to Jesus on his own. I didn't want to have to walk him down that path. I didn't want to say to him, listen, for your own good, if you don't endorse her, you're a dead man walking because you're not going to get reelected in 2 years, so enjoy your last 2 years as mayor. I didn't want to say that because I didn't want him to do it out of self-preservation. I wanted him to do it because he gave his word and he wanted to keep his word. And at the end, he bought into Mike Samad's bullshit and the propaganda.
The racist propaganda.
The racist. You know what? Listen, I'm the last guy in the world to call racism. That was racism. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Telling people that she's going to brown up Methuen and then showing people he was knocking doors not to get votes.
Why would people be upset about that?
He was knocking doors on people he knew were going to vote for him and showed the voters pictures on his phone of Patricia Valley and Lawrence Mayor Brandi Kwong saying she's going to turn the West End into Lawrence. What do you think that means?
There's going to be a lot of big booty Latinas walking around.
That's exactly what it means, which is why I'm all for it. On the other hand, when you've got a white police officer who patrols
Sergeant
who patrols the very Dominican community of Lawrence, whose boss, the mayor, is very Dominican and whose city council is also quite Dominican.
Except my
Whose new police chief, by the way, is also quite Dominican. And you're knocking on doors showing pictures of the Dominican city councilor with the Dominican mayor of Lawrence telling the white West End rich liberal Democrats in Methuen that she's going to turn Methuen or the West End into Lawrence. I think we all know what that means. I think we all know what that means, and I don't think there's any deniability there. He could choose his words as carefully as he wants.
Well, he can say whatever he wants, but he is not going to make any changes.
Oh, no, because
no one's going to stop us.
Well, listen, he's going to come in. He's already come in angry. And here's the thing. He's a master manipulator. I didn't want to make this about Mike Samad today, so I'm going to only talk about him for a couple seconds, but it's worth the discussion. Trust me when I tell you.
I can't believe I defended him.
I did defend him. Well, because, listen, it's always the lesser of the two evils. I mean, him versus Dan Shabila, at least he knows how to read a budget. At least he understands how grants work. Like, he understands how to do the job. So I don't change. I'm not sorry that I endorsed him, because you have a choice between a buffoon who doesn't literally know anything and a guy like Mike Samad who's, he's evil, but he can at least do the job. Like, when it comes time to, like, borrow money for the schools or something, like, he knows what he's doing. I may not agree with his decisions, but he knows what he's doing. But he does this thing, and we saw it on the video of him knocking that woman around on Merrimack Street when he beat up that woman. He does it with a smile. Like, he does it, like, he makes it like he's the like, you're forcing his hand. Like, I have no choice. Like, I'm trying to be a good guy about this, but boom, like, this is how he is, right? So he got up at the last city council meeting, and what did he bitch about? What was he crying about? He was, on the one hand, saying, we need unity. We need to all be working together. But, we had a counselor who went on a podcast. I wonder which podcast that could have been. And revealed documents, basically, and I'm paraphrasing because it's not in front of me. Revealed documents that, that should have been handled behind the scenes. He's all about the cover-up. But the problem with that issue is Patricia Valley came in. We had documents. There was a complaint about someone, about election workers telling voters you have to vote for 2 on election day. We brought that in and we showed it on the show. He was mortified that this wasn't handled secretly, that this wasn't swept under the rug. And he says, and I know the woman involved, and I know her too. She's a nice person, but it's not about that. He's like, and she would never do anything wrong, and I've known her for 35 years, and, these are things that could be handled with a phone call. It shouldn't be on a podcast, because he's trying to sweep it under the rug. And Nellie Soto was so great. When it came time for her to, like, address what he was saying, because she was one of the people he was attacking, because she's the one that actually made the complaint about the elections. And she said, well, I'm here to protect. I'm paraphrasing shit. I'm here to protect the voters, and you're here to protect the friend that you've known for 35 years.
Yeah.
Like, she totally flipped it on him.
But it was something that was already shown.
Right.
before.
Well, and then she revealed that, by the way, the meeting before that apparently you didn't watch, that document was already made public. So it wasn't made public for the first time on that podcast. But let's pretend that it had been. This is a guy that does not want the voters to know what's going on. He wants everything behind the scenes. He wants to sweep everything under the rug. Why? Because everything he does is behind the scenes. Yeah. He doesn't, as a counselor, he doesn't want the public to know what they're doing behind the scenes because he wants to cover up all the crap that he's doing. And even though he's doing it with a smile, like he got up there and he was, we have to have unity. Is it unity when you're knocking on people's doors and saying she's going to brown up Methuen? Is that unity? Is that unity? I don't think it is. So anyways.
Next. Elections.
So we did the elections.
That was it? Okay.
I mean, there's not much more to say.
You want to talk about John Regal? Going off?
I didn't hear that he went off. What did he do?
On comments. Remember? When you call them out and then...
Yeah, he denied it. But you know what?
That you don't get to know the person.
I'm not going to hold that against him because after an election, especially when you lose, your emotions are running high. So I'm giving him a mulligan on it. Listen, I think John Regal, and I'll say this about John, I think he's got a good contribution he can make to the community. I think he went about it wrong. I think because he's a rookie.
I used to think the same thing. I was helping him. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't have helped.
I think because he's a rookie... And because when he got into this mess, and it was a mess this year, he surrounded himself with people who walked him down a path of destruction for him. Because see, the Julissa Nunez's and the Sarah Perez and the Debo Browns,
put them on their wings.
The Altagracia Magis were using him to hurt Brian. And they didn't care that they were dooming his campaign, just like they didn't care that they were dooming Manny's campaign. Let's just talk about that for a couple of seconds. They didn't care that they were screwing Manny because there were a lot of voters who said to me on election day, including, by the way, I don't know if I should say that my mom did this, but yeah, I could say it. Okay, yeah. I still want her mad at me. So that's one thing you never wanted my mom to be mad at you. No, but like even members of my family were like, oh, I didn't know Debo and Kelly were campaigning for Manny. Right? Yeah. And I had people on election day say, now, I don't really know Sarah Perez that well. I know her because I worked on Brian's campaign 4 years ago. This year I stayed neutral, but 4 years ago I worked on Brian's campaign. And she also worked on Brian's campaign. So we spent a lot of time at headquarters, like stuffing envelopes and making calls and whatever. So I got to know her a little bit. And I also worked with her on a couple of other campaigns in the past. She denies that, but I think that there's a couple of state senate campaigns that we worked on together that, we weren't friends, but we were friendly. We worked well together. We seemed to like each other. She was pleasant to me when I saw her. But these people hated Brian so much for not doing them favors while he was mayor that they didn't care that they were hurting Manny. They just wanted to hurt Brian.
That's it.
And that's all they cared about. And they
never posted anything
they
about
wanted Manny. They wanted Manny to win, but only to hurt Brian. And I said, the minute this election is over, win or lose, they're going to turn on Manny. And Julissa Nunez, it took 11 minutes?
No, less than 24 hours.
Yeah, less than 24 hours it took for Julissa Nunez to start a text thread with people in Lawrence saying that Manny was actually part of a conspiracy with Brian to make sure Brian got reelected. This is what she was saying. First, she attacked Lenita Dykes, then she attacked Chris, both of whom were the only chance Manny had of getting elected. But in the end, and I wrote this in my editorial this week, Manny Gonzalez lost that election because the majority of his vocal supporters were not telling people how great Manny is. They were telling people how much Brian sucks. And John Regal fell into that. John Regal fell into that because they saw him as fresh meat. It's like the new kid that shows up at the prison.
Yeah.
That was John Regal walking into this race, right? They saw him and they went, oh, fresh meat. We'll use him to carry our message. We'll use him to push our hate.
Yeah.
We'll use him.
Because everyone already knows how we are.
Right. So they surrounded him and they pretty much indoctrinated him from the beginning. And I really think he thought that he was doing the right thing. I don't think for a minute that he was being deceptive or dishonest. I don't think he did any of that. Yeah. But I do think that he was so taken in and he believed that Brian was stealing money and all the crazy things that those people were saying that he well, we looked at the numbers last week, and I'm sure you watched the show, right? He campaigned for Wendy Luzon. 2/3 of her voters did not support him. He campaigned everywhere for Manny Gonzalez. 2/3 of his supporters did not vote for him. And we tried to explain that to him on this show. And he kept saying, well, you didn't call me. You didn't after I came on your show. Right, because I have 28 candidates. I can't hold all their hands.
I think you did say something on a podcast.
On the show I did, on multiple occasions.
On
yes,
the chat.
On multiple occasions I said on this program because I didn't have time to actually sit with him. And a few times I sent him instant messages and he just didn't want to listen. And I'm bringing all this up not to attack him. I know he thinks it's an attack and it's not. I know, guys that have that Dominican machismo thing kind of think they can't handle any kind of criticism even if it's constructive. This is constructive. Trust me. You've seen me when I'm not being constructive, right? Yeah. You saw how I dealt with Luann Santos, right? Mm-hmm. So you saw how I dealt with Dan Shabilia, right? Yeah. So here's what I'll say, and this is how we'll wrap up on John Regal. I genuinely think he can make a great contribution to the community, but he has to. What?
Some guys just put a chat. Felipe Martinez. Hey, you a POS?
I don't know what is that.
Piece of.
Oh, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Get your own podcast.
And a racist.
I'm a racist.
I'm going to block him.
No, don't block him.
Oh, okay.
No, let him. Who cares?
Keep writing your hatred.
Listen, it's probably Debo with a fake account.
Oh, probably.
Because he's got like 37 fake accounts. Did you notice, too, that Debo had 5, not to digress, but Debo had 5 different accounts, and they were all talking to each other like they were. Yeah. Like it was 5 different people having a conversation.
Yeah, they were telling me like things about my dead mother and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it was all Debo. It was all one guy using like three different devices. And so this is what he does. Like, he has conversations with himself, pretending it's other people.
Agreeing with him.
To try and convey that like that Debo's really a good guy and all his enemies are really bad people.
I blocked one of them and it said, we'll block this account, but this person has multiple accounts. Like it says that. So yeah.
So you know what? I don't Generally, I don't block people.
Okay.
For the most part, because especially like this another guy, his name is JC or Shaney or something. Shiny has been harassing me. Why can't I come on your show? You're afraid of me. I love this like childish 3-year-old thing that they do. You're afraid of me. You won't let me come on your show and debate you. And it's like, no, you're a child. Why would I waste my time? Right? Yeah. Why would I waste my time?
And it's your show. You do what you want.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but like, what is it? So let's say I have this guy Shaney, whatever his name is. He comes on, right, and he wants to debate me on Israel, right? I'm going to destroy that because I know what I'm talking about, right? So what? So I beat up on some guy that nobody knows. What did that accomplish? Okay, let's say he gets me on a couple of points. Oh, you got me. Okay, and what? Did you pay your rent with that? Like, what does that mean? Like, what did we accomplish?
You still have the newspaper in the podcast.
Right, like, what does it accomplish? What does it accomplish? You're still an unknown, irrelevant person that no one gives a shit about. And I still have a newspaper, a podcast, 40,000 people that follow me on Facebook, another 10,000 that follow me on Twitter and Snapchat and all the other things that I'm doing. And it grows every single day. Like, my audience is continuing to grow, while other
You have influence. That's the number one thing.
Well, like the
because you can have followers, but not influence.
Right. Has anybody heard from Tim Wood lately? No. Right? From Methuen Loop Weekly, you're out of business, right?
Yeah.
How about like Rumbo? Did anybody see Rumbo on a news shelf lately? No, they're online now. They don't even publish anymore, right? So, like, not to brag, but why am I going to waste my time with some irrelevant guy that's just looking to use my audience to get clout?
Yeah.
Right? And so this is what Debo tried to do at the beginning. He tried attacking me, thinking that because I have a lot of followers, he would get my followers to stop looking on his page, see what he's saying about me. And it worked for a little while, but it always works for a little while. But they all think they're so fucking clever that nobody's ever thought of this before. And I've been doing this a really long time. I've seen it all. There's a reason why I'm not in jail and I'm still here and I still have a newspaper and it's still thriving and people are still calling me for advertising rates every day. And Debo Brown no longer works for the city of Lawrence, has no job. His wife threw him out. He's up on charges for beating his wife. There's a reason why Kelly Frazier doesn't have her and he doesn't have the nonprofit and the nail salon. There's a reason why all of that. There's a reason for that. And they still haven't been able to wrap their head around the fact that their life was great until they attacked me, until they came after me and tried to destroy my life. When they attacked me, I just attacked them back. When they said mean things about me, I just said mean things back. But when they tried to destroy my life, I had no choice but to destroy theirs.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's not like I wanted to. Like, I kept wanting the Roger Toomey effect. I kept saying to them, is this really the hill you want to die on? Right? Do you really want me to line my tanks on the border like on Gaza? And do you really want me to roll into Gaza? Like, is this really what you want? And apparently the answer was yes.
Have you received any, like, death threats or anything?
I get those all the time.
Okay.
I get them all the time. And I'm not worried. Listen, here's the thing. And I've had family members ask me this, and then we got to get to our guest. If someone wants to get you, they're going to get you.
Okay.
If someone is intent, like I carry a gun. Sometimes I carry 2 guns depending on where I'm going. But it doesn't matter. If someone wants to get you, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
They're going to stalk you. They're going to follow you. They're going to get you in a parking lot from behind when you're not looking. If somebody wants to get you.
Put flyers in your windshield.
Right. Like they're going to find a way. That's why I like all these people that cry about police officers preventing crime and how the entire liberal philosophy in this country is about root causes and preventing things. You can't prevent anything. You can ban guns all you want. You're not gonna prevent people from killing other people. You look what's going on in Europe, and there are knife attacks every day, and there are mass knife attacks. 20, 30 people are getting stabbed and getting killed because they've taken all the guns, but it hasn't stopped the violence and the crime. Because I saw a comedian say this the other day. I'll close the discussion with this. Humanity was 4 people old: Adam and Eve, Abel and Cain. And Abel killed Cain. Well, Cain killed Abel. One of them killed the other one.
Cain killed Abel.
Right?
No?
So you had 4 people. And someone killed somebody with 4 people on the whole planet. So if someone wants to, doesn't matter if you ban the guns all you want, you can do all the anti-bullying things in school, you can do all the crap all the crap that people pretend is going to make a difference only gives government more power, but it never actually makes a difference. So am I worried about someone getting me? You think about it, especially when you get threats all the time. Sometimes maybe I should pay attention to this.
I'm not afraid of death.
But I am terrified of death.
Really?
I am terrified of death after what I went through.
That's the only thing that's
my
promised.
coma, right?
The only thing that's promised is death.
Right.
Not afraid.
But I also know that I'm not going to change my life for those people. I'm not going to change the way I live. I'm not going to change my route when I go home from TMF. I'm not going to stop doing the things that I want to do. In fact, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. I'm doing another public event tomorrow night, right? And I debated, like, do I put this online? Am I gonna have to deal with like some nutcase coming in?
I'm gonna invite the some of the bikers over there.
Oh yeah, we gotta
invite them.
So Scott and Jen Mendes can't make it. I did invite them.
Okay.
But some of the others we should invite Lynn.
My neighbor is Sean McGravy.
Tracy Lynn and Steve, her boyfriend, and Eric DeLeon, who used to be a Methuen cop.
There you go.
We should invite them all.
All right. Well, before we go to our guest, we have Intern Girl Cam here.
Intern Girl Cam. By the way, if you want to sponsor the Intern Girl Cam, it's $200 for the month for the Intern Girl Cam, and the money goes, at least half the money goes to Intern Girl, so that kind of helps pay for her, pay for the time that she does here on the show.
Thank you. We have the guy that said,
"How cute she looks." Can you do it in Spanish?
Right? Tenemos al hombre aquí que dijo que tú eres un
God,
pedazo de mierda.
So fucking sexy, it's ridiculous.
Tú eres un pedazo de mierda, él dice. Shauna Hamilton está viendo. Hola, Shauna. Randy Carter dice que mañana...
Is Randy coming tomorrow? I need. Give me an answer in the...
Okay, I'll ask him. Mañana hay una cena de veteranos en el Elks a las 6 de la noche.
Okay.
There's an Elks, there's a veteran dinner at the Elks tonight at 6 p.m. And Mrs. Duggan is checking in.
Oh, the future Mrs. Duggan is here?
Yes.
God, she's so...
John Savastano says, I love when Tom lays to waste these people who attack him. And that's it. That's what we have.
Well, here's the thing. And John, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. But here's the thing. I know that I have tremendous power. And I know that sounds egotistical, but that's not the way I mean it. I know that I have the ability with one post on Facebook to destroy someone's life. It's just because so many people follow me, right? And I have credibility, so when I say it, even my enemies know that it's true. That they know I don't like when I posted that Joe Ferretto moved out of Methuen and people started doubting it. I didn't even have to defend myself. My regular followers were like, "If Duggan posted it, he's got the documents. What are you doing? Like, why are you denying this? Like, are you going to force him to post the documents to prove it and humiliate your friend even more, or are you just going to go away?" And, of course, they made me do it. So I understand that, I know 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 that, because I have a lot of people who follow what I do, who follow the paper, who follow the podcast, who come to our public events, who help us with our bash. With that comes tremendous power, but it also comes with tremendous responsibility. You don't want to kill, what was the expression that my mom used to use? You don't want to kill a fly with a sledgehammer, right? Mm. So, like, I tried, not that it got me anywhere, but I tried to be very delicate with John Regal, because with one post or one podcast, I could ruin his political career for the next 10 years. He'd never get elected to anything. Yeah. I don't think people appreciate that enough. They don't. I think people need to appreciate more how much I hold back, given how I could be. I held back on Luis Santos, and I held back, and then I realized, why am I holding back? I'm getting trashed. Why am I holding back?
Why do you have to be the bigger person, right?
Well, and honestly, I have no interest in being the bigger person most of the time, but I also don't want to do. I don't want to do permanent damage to someone's reputation because they did something stupid and impulsive, right? We all do that, right? It's the people that are relentless, that don't let it go, that don't walk away. How many chances did I give Debo Brown and Kelly Frazier?
Many.
How many times I gave that guy attacked my dead father, attacked my family, attacked my daughter, attacked my newspaper, and I kept saying to him, online and in person and on videos and on podcasts, is this the hill you want to die on, right? And eventually he pushed me into a corner. Him and his wife pushed me into a corner where I had no choice, where they had me up on charges where I was facing 2.5 years in prison based on fake police reports and fake accusations. And now it was like, okay, you know what? There are some people that take your generosity as weakness. And they think that because you're not doing anything to them, you can't do anything to them, or you're not going to do anything to them. It's like when he says to me, oh, well, you carry guns, but I know you'd never shoot me. Don't make that assumption.
Yeah.
Okay? Is I guess what I'm trying to say. If I feel that I have to defend myself, whether it's verbally or in other ways, I'm not going to be my father. Okay? And I love my father. My father and I, as fathers and sons did, we had problems when I was a kid, right? There were times we didn't even talk to each other, as most fathers and sons do. But my father, when faced with a guy with a baseball bat who backed him into a vacant lot, didn't want to pull his gun because there were innocent people walking on the sidewalk. There were kids coming home from school. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. He was more concerned about not hurting other people than he was defending himself. I am not going to make that mistake. All right. If I feel, though, and that's why he died. He died because he pulled his gun too late. I'm not going to make that mistake. Okay. When Jimmy Carter's sister, Denise Samataro, found my father laying on the ground, his finger was still doing this. He was still trying to pull the trigger, even though the gun was like 8 feet away.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So he was killed because he was too, in the moment, he was too concerned as a police officer about the innocent civilians around him. I am not going to make that mistake, okay? So I know that there's a tremendous responsibility with what I have, with what I do, and I really try hard not to abuse it. So when people say, why are you picking on this person? Why are you punching down? If you see me and it seems like I'm punching down, then you need to Google. You need to go look on stories that have been written about me. You need to Google my name and that person's name and find out, because if you do 99 times out of 100 or 100 times out of 100, you're going to find out. I'm not punching down at all. I've put up with so much shit that now I'm at a point now where now I've got no choice. Like now they've pushed me into a corner where I have no choice but to defend myself. Yeah. And a lot of times that's, you got elected officials who are cheating on their wives. And then they go on Facebook and they attack me. And then they send their wife to public participation to attack me. And then I sit there and I go,
let me take
does this guy know? Does this person know that I've got the ability to destroy his marriage right now? And he has to know that. Like, he has to know that I know what's really going on. It's my job. Like, people call me and tell me anything, right? You have elected officials in the past who were cheating on their taxes. And then they're attacking me like at a public meeting. And I'm going, wait, like, I can make one post on Facebook with what I know, and that guy's life would be over right now. So I think the point I'm trying to make is people need to appreciate more what I don't do, given
now I want to know what elected officials
the tremendous. I think you guys all know.
I know.
Right? All right. We have in the studio with us. Oh, we have one couple quick things. Which picture do you want to pull up first? Then we're going to get to Kristen real quick.
Sure.
And then we're going to Tomo. For those of you who want to come ambush me at Tomo.
Come, Brandi.
Yeah, Randy should come. All right, so this is tomorrow night. Guess who one of the celebrity judges is going to be on this? That's going to be yours truly.
I forgot these things.
And we have, I think, two tables of the Tom Duggan fan club are coming. So I know Jana's got a table. I know Andrea's got a table. I think Karina's also got a table.
Okay.
So this is the.
Where am I sitting?
Mary Mac, you can sit with whoever you want.
Okay.
There's gonna be room at Andrea's table, and I think there's gonna be room at who's the second person that I said? No, I think Jana's table is full, but.
Okay. She said she's bringing a gang.
Karina,
she texted me today.
Karina, yeah, she's bringing. But there's gonna be at least 2, maybe 3 tables of Valley Patriot family members who are going to be there. I know the future Mrs. Duggan is coming. That's really all I care about.
Oh, yay.
She's awesome. And we're trying to get Kristen there, too, but we'll see if she's going to be there. So this is the Mary McDonald's funniest person. This is the finale. 2025, the final contestants are AJG. That sounds like something Debo made up. AJG, yo. AJG. Kaylee Krenzer, Matt Rogues, Leaky. Actually, I think that's a woman. I think she's funny. I think she was in the last competition that I did.
Okay.
Gianna Saltamacchia. I'm sorry if I'm butchering some of these names. Mark Branson, James Hamilton, Justin George, Christina Bino, Ethan Cannon, Zach Morin, and Ben Chadwick. This is at Faux City, which I have not been to yet, so it's going to be good for me. It's going to be my first time. Tickets, I think, are $25. Doors open at 7. It's in Methuen. Did I say that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's in Methuen. It's tomorrow night. I think the actual show starts at 8. I think
8:30.
Oh, it says 8:30.
At the
Okay,
top.
very good. No, that's fine. And so tickets are $25. Please come.
Yes.
There's going to be audience participation. You get to see me be the celebrity judge. I did this once before. So I did this actually a couple times before. Was celebrity. You can pull it down. I did celebrity judge for this because in a previous life I did comedy, and then I was supposed to be the MC for I can't remember his name. Big comedian was coming to Salvatore's, and Mike asked me to be the MC because I didn't know that you did comedy because I watch your show and it's pretty funny. So if you're half as funny on stage as you are on your show, then we'd love to have you MC. And MCing is great because you don't have to have a routine. You just get up and talk to people and just kind of like
Be yourself.
yeah, just
be
kind of
funny.
be yourself, be funny. And if it's not funny, it doesn't matter because you're not the comedian. Nobody's expecting you to be funny,
Yeah.
which is the best part. And that
You know
was
what's my favorite? Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle's amazing.
He's the best.
He's absolutely amazing.
He's funny.
Probably one of the best comedians
Yeah,
ever.
I agree.
Ever. But the night that I was supposed to do, and I wish I could remember his name. If I said it, you guys would flip out. Was the night of the Columbia gas explosions.
September 13th?
Yeah, it was that night.
Okay.
And then we're going to do it again, and it was the Friday after I went into my coma.
What food do
So-
they sell at Full City? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's like noodles. It's like Chinese noodles, and I think it's Chinese food,
Like pho?
Vietnamese food.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks for coming,
Yeah,
kids.
thank you.
We didn't even mention the sponsors, right?
No, we didn't.
Sponsors, real quick. We got Billy Griffin's coming on board. I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun.
Oh, really? Nice.
Brando's, the new Brando's in Haverhill. I understand there's going to be another Brando's opening very shortly. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, think our sponsors. Zany Pesh Law Office. It's amazing how Italians are so into being Italian. Can I just say that as a side note?
Yeah, of
Like, I don't know any Irish people that walk around talking about how Irish they are all the time. Like, you didn't hear Frenchmen going, yeah, because I'm a Frenchman.
I think
of course,
the
I'm a
Irish,
Frenchman over here. I'm a French.
Irish have been here longer, and they kind of been like they're like already like the second generation.
Yeah, but you don't
third
hear
generation.
Swedish people go, yeah, I'm Swedish. You know, I'm Swedish.
But
I'm Swedish. You know, I'm
Italians,
Swedish.
I got here later, so there's some people that are here that were born in Italy. A lot of them, right?
I'm just
And
saying.
Everett, and they're
I'm just
proud.
saying you can't
And
be
they're
around an
proud.
Italian person without them talking about how Italian they are all the time.
I mean, that's what I said is the,
Right.
you know, they've been here. Yeah. Anyways.
On the go notary, the Zany Pesci. This is such an abortion. Marston and Son Construction, EIS Investigation and Gun Training, Tomo and Shaken Seafood, Clear path for veterans, New England. We got to get those guys back in here. And we definitely got to get Zaka back from AFC Urgent Care.
Get your flu shots.
Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors. And I think he's mad at me. Isn't he mad at me for something?
David?
He said, he goes, can you stop saying on your show that I'm mad at you? Because the minute you do, everyone calls me and goes, why are you mad at Tom? Like, they all want the dirt. Like, why are you mad at him?
Can he, like, put 2 and 2 together, though? And understand why we do that? Because we missed him at the bash.
Right.
That's never going to get old.
Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio loves. By the way, I apologize, Doug Mercurio, for butchering your joke last week. I need to find that, but it was a really funny joke. It had to do with Market Basket and Stop and Shop, but I butchered it. W3ON website design, a free shout out to my buddy Paul Lambert. If anybody sees Paul Lambert, say hi to him for me. And if you need a lawyer, you should be. He does like family law, real estate, that kind of stuff. A free shout out to JG's Ice Cream, and also a free shout out to Marie Thibodeau over at is it Thibodeau? Total Mortgage. And I said on the go notary. All right. I just want to say, before we get to our guest, one more time, intern girl.
Yes.
This time they really got him.
Ooh, I can't wait. Wait till they see what's going to happen.
They're dragging him off in handcuffs any minute now.
No, they're plotting against Ralph Carrero anyways.
Well, that's all right, though.
Yeah? I like him.
Well, you know why they don't like him? Why? They don't like him because he's not woke. So he's running a school system, and he's not doing all the transgender bullshit that Methuen's doing.
Yeah.
Right? He's not allowing all the crap to go on that Methuen's doing.
That's great.
And all the teachers are flipping out because the teachers union, as we've learned in Methuen, the teachers union are behind 90% of their stuff.
That's great.
And the regular school board members are behind. I agree with you. I think it's great. The problem is that Ralph does not work well with others. He does not play well with others. And
I worked with him. He was great.
And I listen, I was on the school committee with him. I had a lot of problems with him as a school board member. I still have nightmares about some of those school board meetings. I really do. But I think overall, I would much rather have a Ralph than have a Brandi Kwong.
Yeah.
7 days a week. I would rather have a Ralph.
Ralph has really good record, though, like in education.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. And you know what it is?
And he's qualified. He's at least qualified.
Yeah, I feel like the woke stuff really separates our families.
It does.
It does.
And by the way, the one problem that Ralph is going to have, and I'm going to predict it by the beginning of this coming year, that Ralph's going to be gone because the midget wants him gone. The midget wants him gone because he went after former District B counselor, what's his name? It's terrible.
Latino or no?
Yep.
I have no idea.
Carlos Matos. He went after Carlos Matos. And so now the midget wants him gone.
He can't say that. Like, we need to get the schools back. Honestly.
Listen, I get it, but I'm just telling you what the politics are. All right, so we don't have time for you, but we appreciate you coming in.
Great. Thank you, Kristen, for being here.
So did I hear it? Is it true? Is it true? I was watching the meeting, but I was being distracted because I was on the deadline. And so I have my editors on speakerphone, and I have people coming and going, and people asking me if the comma's in the wrong place, and I'm trying to watch your meeting, and I thought I heard, I could be wrong, and you should have this ready, the N-word thing. I thought I heard, and I might have even been Mary Beth Donovan, who said, we have to move the next school committee meeting so that they can read the book that has the passages about masturbation and attacks black people as the N-word.
We're jumping right in, huh?
Well, I mean, why not, right? I already wasted so much time talking about foolishness.
I guess the library is inviting all school committee members to the book reading on the
Chocolate Diary of an Unsubscribed something Indian.
Part-time diary.
Is it supposed to be Native Americans? Is it not supposed to be Indian? It's supposed to be Native American. I thought the left was like all about the pronouns and the words and the definitions and redefining everything. I thought, like, why? Do we have that? Let
me see if we have
that passage. I think we had it a few months ago, a few weeks ago.
Let me see. I think we do.
Not that. So this is what they're canceling a school committee meeting for. I want to call your attention to this passage. It starts with, "Did you know that Indians are living proof?" That's the one you want to look at.
That niggers fuck buffalo.
Oh, I wouldn't have said it live, but you're black, so you can say it. This is what they are reading out loud in your class, in your white classroom with white teachers. By the way, 94% white teachers in Methuen, even though they preach DEI. This is what they're reading out loud in a classroom. Now, you can pull that down. Here's my question to Kristen Maxwell. This is going to be trial by fire today because you won the election, so we got you for 2 more years. If a kid left that classroom after hearing that being read out loud in a classroom, went out into the corridor and said, hey, I just heard a great joke, and in front of another teacher or a principal or an assistant principal or a janitor or a lunchroom monitor said, hey, Indians are living proof, and told the joke and said the word, would that kid not be suspended and thrown out of school?
I mean, I can imagine that they would be. I don't.
Like, isn't there a zero tolerance policy? I'm pretty sure I heard Brandi one night say there's a zero tolerance policy for hate speech, right? Yeah. Okay, so this book also has the passages that we had a few months ago where it glorified and used God to glorify masturbation. I'm wondering, and there's also passages in another book that they're reading that has anal sex passages in it, and I'm wondering if a boy left that classroom, went into the lunchroom for lunch, and said in front of a bunch of girls to his friend, hey, Sally over there is pretty hot. I'd love to have anal sex with her. Maybe we could do a mutual masturbation session tonight after school. I'm wondering if that kid would also be suspended for sexual harassment, brought up on charges or suspended, given in-house suspension, maybe even being expelled, maybe even have criminal charges, civil rights charges lobbed against him, maybe even am I wrong about any of this?
I would imagine not. I mean, no. There's a zero tolerance policy
for that kind of stuff. I thought there was, right?
But
so in essence, here's why I'm walking you guys down this road, because I want you to understand how egregious this is. This is not Tom the Prude. I'm the least prudish person on the planet. But what this means is that white teachers can say the N-word in a classroom to white students, even if there are black or Latino kids in the classroom. But if the kid says it in the hallway, the kid gets punished. A white teacher can say, a female teacher can say in classroom, read this passage out loud about anal sex or masturbation. But if a kid talks about it in the lunchroom, there's repercussions and the kid gets punished. So why are we allowing teachers to do it in the classroom in the first place, Ms. School Committee Member Kristen Maxwell, for joining us? Thank you for coming.
So I don't know. I had a huge issue with, I had a parent bring an issue to me, and I always tell parents, you bring an issue to me, I'm going to bring it forward.
Oh, and they hated that.
Yeah, they did. So, I mean...
She's so nice about it. I'd be killing these people. What are you doing?
I'm one of 6 votes, right? I can only speak for myself, and I don't see where this fits in to school.
Right.
I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't think that an adult should be reading to a 14-year-old child about masturbation or anal sex or any other thing that's in that book. And I've heard, to be honest, I still haven't read the book, so it's fine. But I've heard that it is a really good book from a lot of people. However, being a really good book doesn't mean that it should be read aloud in class. Do I think that we should remove it from the school or the library? No, I don't think we should remove anything from schools or libraries. Do I think that it should be read aloud in class? Maybe not. And during our discussion at one of our school committee meetings, there was said that, we have an opt-out policy. Well, the opt-out policy is great, but we need to offer the opt-out policy before they read the book.
Right.
So I don't know how we get ahead of that.
And what's this other crap, too, that they say, oh, well, we gave the parents at the beginning of the school year the titles of the books that they're to read. So if they had an objection, do they expect
on the syllabus?
Do they expect parents who are working 2 jobs? Sometimes there's only one parent at home, right? Do they expect parents? Do they expect intern girl who's got 2 kids in the school system, who works 3 jobs and interns for me for free, has no time at all except for the time she spends with her kids? Do they expect her to go out and spend money buying these books so they can read every page to make sure that there isn't something inappropriate? This is I
am a mom, and I have had a high school student, and I have gotten these syllabuses, and I'm going to tell you right now that I didn't read the books.
Yeah, there's no parent that's doing that.
I just trust that the schools are doing the right thing.
They pretend that it's your fault because we gave you the syllabus. We told you what the material was. You didn't object before, but this is the sleight of hand that they play. And I think the most egregious thing, and by the way, this is on the front page. Can you show the front page of the paper? This is on the front page of this week's Valley page, this month's Valley page. It came out this week. We always keep going back to that paraglider for some reason. Here's the front page, right? And this is the woman, her name is Annie Kivlahan. I hope I'm saying that right. She came forward and she said she was upset that her kid was being exposed to this material in the classroom, and that she was not notified, and that there's a policy, and you put it on the agenda. You can take that back down. They put it on you put it on the agenda, and they denigrated you for putting it on the. It's hilarious how they cried about book banning and censorship while they were saying you should have been censored for putting it on the agenda. That was hilarious. But then on top of that, they tried to make this about book banning when it was really a parent and a school board member saying, why wasn't the policy followed? And then we find out. Then the superintendent, thank God she's on her way out. Let Wilmington have her. Then the superintendent said the quiet part out loud when she said, and I don't know if you caught this, it's not a violation of the policy because the way the policy is worded is that it's the totality of the material. So if it's a book about anal sex and anal sex is in the title, we have to notify the parent. But if it's a book about a wild teenage adventure like American Pie, and it's got 3 chapters in it about anal sex, but that's not the totality of the material, so parents don't get the right to know and opt their kid out. And so this is, I think, it's the deception. It always goes back to Richard Nixon for me. It's not the crime, it's the cover-up. It's not so much what you're doing, which we all think is wrong. Most normal people think it's wrong, obviously. There's a whole bunch of people that thought it was perfectly okay. But it's the way that they cover it up. And then when you find out about the cover-up, it's even worse because you go, so how many parents were under the impression that if this material was being read to their kid in school that they were going to get notified, only now to have to find out, and maybe some parents still don't even know, that the way they cleverly worded the policy was to obfuscate, was to go against what the parents wanted behind their back. This was not a mistake. This was on purpose.
Well, I mean, I will say, as a parent, I am also a school committee member, but I'm a parent first, and I didn't even know that we could opt out of curriculum or books or certain types of things, or that we could send our kids to certain bathrooms. I didn't know that those things were even options. And I'm a parent and have been a parent in the district for 8 years.
Right.
So I don't assume that all parents know that because they don't. I don't know how we make that clear to parents because I think that needs to be made very clear to parents.
I think being on the front page of the Valley Patriot helps.
Yeah.
I know I'm being savaged by all the pervs, I call them the perv brigade, the people that spoke at public participation.
I've gotten a lot of trouble for that. For allowing you to somehow control what you say.
Yeah, that was. I wish I'd brought that video clip. So there were a number of people, including Heather Plunkett, who got up at public participation and was denigrating you for sitting by and saying nothing. Why do we keep seeing a paraglider on the? Every time I look up, there's a paraglider on the machine.
I'm switching to check Facebook messages because my phone's
Oh, okay. All right. It's weird how they're trying to hold. This is how tyrants operate. They want to hold you responsible for what I'm saying because you know me, I guess. Right? You've been on my show, I guess.
I'm held responsible for a lot of things I can't control.
Right.
Apparently.
On the other hand, she got up and she denigrated Ken Willett. She denigrated you. She in a nicer way attacked DJ Beauregard, but I didn't hear anybody else say, well, wait a minute, Mary Beth Donovan. You sat there and said nothing when a member of the public got up here and denigrated Kristen Maxwell and denigrated Ken Willett. So they're not even holding themselves to their own.
Well, and that wasn't the first time that's happened to me. I've had letters written about me. I've been on newspapers. I have had multiple things said about me, and no one said
Well, it's the mob. The
anything,
mob is coming for you because you dare to speak out loud, but they don't want you to speak out loud. They want to sweep under the rug everything, especially the perverted things that they're teaching kids. Now, listen. If you want to have a book about anal sex, you want to have it in the library, and it's for juniors and seniors who are 17, 18 years old, couldn't care less.
And they can check it out.
Make it age appropriate. I'm fine with that. You want to have that at the library, but it's not in the kids section. I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the kids section. Given the librarian got up there and all the crap that she was talking about, and just look at her, you know.
But now we have a new director, so maybe
a new library director.
Boucher, yeah.
Oh, he's is he new or was he running for re-election?
No, he's new.
Oh, he is new.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Shabia win?
Huh?
Shabia didn't win?
No, she got her ass kicked. So Dan lost and Kelsey lost, which is just delicious. And David Allen Boucher.
I love him.
And I
don't even know him, but I love his voice.
I got the radio station wrong. You're the one that corrected me. Magic 106.7.
It was Bedtime Magic.
Bedtime Magic with David Allen Boucher.
Isn't Delilah there?
I don't know.
You know who Delilah is?
She wasn't with David Allen Boucher.
Okay,
he was solo.
Delilah that she plays like.
And that guy's a radio legend. So I'm glad to have him on board. And I assumed last week when I talked about him that he was a conservative. I don't know that he's conservative. I was guessing. But this woman's a librarian, and now you have to wonder if you're dropping your kids off at the library in Methuen, whether or not the books in the kids section are age appropriate. And so,
I've come across a few that are
really
questionable. Yeah.
So I think you should take pictures of those. I may even go in with my camera and videotape, just so that they can try and first, because they're going to try and tell me they can't videotape in a library, which is totally unconstitutional to tell me I can't do. But then on top of it all, just to get the material on camera as to what it is that they're peddling to these young kids. I don't understand, or maybe I do because they're just perverts, right? But I don't get how we got to a point in this country where there are people who are openly advocating over-sexualizing young children. Now, you look at where we were when I graduated in 85. To some people, that's a long time ago, especially if you're young. It seems like forever. But you look at it now, and you didn't have in my high school class, there was one girl that got pregnant. In my senior year, she got pregnant. Everyone knew about it, and it was shunned. Today, it's celebrated. There are 5 daycare centers at Methuen, at Lawrence High School. I wonder how many there are in Methuen. Maybe that's a question you could be asking. Is there a daycare center in Methuen in the schools?
I don't think so.
Really?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
There is an early childhood.
At the Timony.
There's a preschool.
Okay.
But that's for
but not a
children with,
daycare.
like disabilities and stuff.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I'll find out.
But you look at the teen pregnancy rate, you look at the abortion rate.
For students?
For students?
No, there's not.
Okay, all right, because in Lawrence, there's 5.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, there's 5 in Lawrence. And you look at the over-sexualization of children and where it has led us. And I even heard one person say, and they're not wrong. It might have even been Dan Shabili, and he's not wrong. And I think that he's the one that said, hey, listen, these kids carry around phones where they have access to full pornography every day. They probably hear worse on the school bus every day than what's in this book.
But that's not true.
And it is. I still don't understand in this country why porn is still so easily accessible for kids. There's no special way that kids can be excluded from that. But even if that's true, and I think that it is, they're not being walked down that path by an adult that they trust, right? They're doing something that they know is wrong. They're on their phone and they're going to a website that they know is wrong. They're hearing language on the bus or discussions about sex on the bus that they know is wrong. And then when a trusted adult of authority starts reading this material in a classroom, it's not wrong anymore. And you listen to that Miss McLeod from the library. Listen to what Miss McLeod said. Go to the October 14th. Go to the October 14th meeting on the Methuen School Committee on YouTube and listen to what Miss McLeod said. And I'm not going to get it 100% correct, but here's 90% of what she said. I'm going to paraphrase. She said, and we always say to the kids that if you're uncomfortable with this material, or the parents, if you're uncomfortable with this material, we need to start having conversations. We need to have conversations about why. Why are you uncomfortable about it? In other words, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
And this is the indoctrination, and this is the psychological manipulation that grown-ups know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and they do these to kids. Imagine having an adult grown-up that you trust saying, well, maybe you should think about why this bothers you, right? Now, this Kivlahan's daughter, her big objection was that there was a passage about God.
God gave us opposable thumbs.
Yeah, so that therefore God wants us to masturbate because He gave us opposable thumbs, that's something I would have just read right past that. It wouldn't have bothered me, but the kid bothered her because she recognized that they were using her religion, they were attacking her religion with this material, and so out of the mouths of babes, right? I wouldn't have recognized it until I heard the mother say it at the meeting. And I went, oh my God, she's right. This is the indoctrination. This is why they want this book in the schools, because this book gives them everything that they want. It attacks religious parents. It makes them think that there's something wrong with you if you're uncomfortable with it. They have to have these conversations.
But why does everything have to be brought back to religion? What about morals? What about beliefs? What about personal beliefs?
Well, because the left has no morals. You see the way they treated you? See the way they treated Ken? Is that a moral person? You think Heather Plunkett's a moral person? Like, forget the politics. Pull all the politics out. You get up at a public meeting and you publicly eviscerate a person by name while you're looking at them. And she looked at Ken and she denigrated. You look at me when I'm talking to you like she was his mother, right? Can you imagine, like, in any other setting, in any other work setting, you work for a corporation, you work for IBM, you're a police. Whatever station you have in life, can you imagine having to deal with somebody getting up and denigrating you like that for doing your job?
No, and
this is who they are. This is the kind of person that they are.
And the problem with it is that I welcome things I don't agree on. Right. I do. I want to hear your opinion.
Me too.
Right? But I don't want to hear you attack me or tell me that I should look at you when I'm talking to you or make up lies about me that saying that I've said something that I never said, that you twisted and made it your own. You know, so I want to hear your opinion, even if I don't agree, because I'll speak up for your opinion.
I'd love to have her here. If she called me tomorrow and said, I want to come on your show and dispute what you said.
Maybe she will.
It would be the highest rated show we've ever had. I would love to have her here. And I would love to have her try and justify, and I'd play the clips. I'd love to have her justify getting up there and pretending this is about book banning. And then she went on some diatribe about Donald Trump and ICE. And she attacked Ken Willett for, you posted on Facebook. And like, apparently she stalks the guy on Facebook. You posted on Facebook something about ICE, and they're racially profiling. Like, what does it have to do with the school committee? Like, what does it have anything to do with why we're here?
Well, and that's the hard part when you're standing there and you're talking about things that maybe we're not even talking about, or I mean, those meetings are 4 hours long already.
So now DJ is trying to get a handle on this, and I get why he's doing this, right? And I had to write about this in my notebook. I wished I could have written something positive about DJ in my newspaper this month, and I tried really hard, but I can't. I couldn't. There was nothing positive to write, other than he won 81%. But I get where he's coming from. After he let all the insanity happen and took their side.
During election time.
During an election. Came on this program, accused me of saying things I never said. And then never held accountable the people who lied to him, because he never actually read my column. So I get where he's coming from. He has a new policy that he wants to institute where you can't get up at public participation.
So those are our current guidelines, actually.
They're the current guidelines. Okay, so he violated the current guidelines, is what you're saying. So then the chairman of the school committee violated the school committee guide. Are they guidelines or policies?
They're guidelines.
Okay, well then the guideline. Why is there a guideline? The guidelines are useless.
They're in our policy.
Still that it's a policy.
Yeah, I mean, the guidelines are just at the bottom of the page for people to read on the agenda, but that's in our policy.
Okay, all right. So what he wants to do is he wants to restrict public participation to things that are on the agenda or things that are within the purview of the school committee. And by the way, there are at least 6 Supreme Court rulings that I can think of off the top of my head that violates. So the Supreme Court has been very clear when it comes to public participation. We had a couple of cases in Stoughton just in the last couple of years about this. The woman won millions of dollars. I'm pretty sure it was millions. I don't think it was hundreds of thousands. I'm pretty sure it was millions. The Supreme Court has been very clear. You can control how much time everyone has, but it has to be the same rule for everyone. So if you let one person, if you say the rule is 5 minutes, you let one person go 10, you've got to let everybody go 10. Right, because it has to be fair. It has to be open. Everybody has to follow the same. You could control where in the meeting public participation happens. At the beginning, at the end. I think the beginning is always better.
And I wish at that meeting we had done it at the end, because I would have just explained where I was going with my topics.
But DJ didn't want you to do that because he got political
benefit.
benefit.
For a point of clarification.
He wouldn't allow it because he got political benefit by the circus. The circus that took place with Dennis DeZoglio and all of those people saying book banning, book banning, book banning, book banning, Nazi, 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 over and over and over, politically benefited them, or so they thought. Didn't really turn out too well for Kelsey and Dan Shabilia, though. But I guess I lost my point. I lost it. That's what happens when you get old. Thanks for coming, kids. Good night. No, they purposely distracted from the actual issue because they did not want to talk about the fact that this parent, A, was not notified, and B, that there was a policy that was so cleverly worded as to get around the parents. And I think that's why you had this barrage of book banning, Nazi, to shout down, to confuse the people at home as to what this was really about. And then they cried about transgender bathrooms, which was hilarious. Like, if you could have seen me laughing my ass off. I don't drink. I almost drank that night. I wanted to do a drinking game where every time they said transgender or book banning or Nazi, you drank, because I would have been bombed in the first 3 minutes. But it was weird because they said transgender over and over and over and over and over, and then crybaby Kelsey Shabilia got up and denigrated you for putting transgender on the agenda.
Which I didn't do.
Explain that.
So there was a parent who emailed us, and I'll say us meaning the school committee and the administration, and had just asked what the policy is on boys being in girls' bathrooms, because her daughter was in the bathroom. She grew up with this boy, and this boy that she had grown up with was in the bathroom, and the daughter went home and told her about it. And when I emailed about it, the email response was, well, we can't discriminate against transgender students. And I had emailed something back. I didn't get a response, so I asked if we could add this topic to the agenda.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say it was a transgender student. You said it was a boy.
No.
Okay. It's just interesting how that's where
so
they go.
So the answer that was responded was, we don't discriminate. But
right. They want boys going into girls' bathrooms, and they use the transgender issue to allow it to happen.
So, yeah.
See, I've been around a little bit, so they can't fool me.
Yeah, I mean, it was very well played.
Yeah.
But I never mentioned anything about transgender students. And here's the part that bothers me the most. And I have recently had conversations with some parents, and they've been very informative, and I appreciate their input. And I may get judged for this, but I have never heard the word cisgender before this recent conversation. So,
well, it's a made-up word because they can't say normal, because if they say normal, that means they're saying the other kids aren't normal.
Well, with that being said, had I, if I had said something about like the cisgender bathrooms, would there have been an outrage that I used that word? Or is it just the word that is bothering people?
Well, they're the vocabulary,
because having conversation doesn't mean I'm discriminating.
Right.
Let's have a conversation.
They don't want conversations. They want
conversations need to be had.
They don't want the conversations. They don't want the public to know. They don't want the parents to know. That's why they told the parents, you can opt out if we read this material, we'll let you know. And they cleverly worded a policy to get around it. Like, this was not a mistake, and I want to keep saying that because people don't need to understand. This is going on in every school system in the country. This is not a mistake. They cleverly word, because they're all about words, right? They spent a good 20 minutes at that, talking about what words you use to put it on the agenda. They're all about words. They know what they're doing. And when they carefully crafted this policy for the totality of the material, it got by most people, I'm sure, at that public meeting when it was discussed, and it became a policy so that they could get around reading passages about anal sex to young kids and get away with it.
Well, and the point that shouldn't be overlooked, right, is that this parent came forward and said that her teenage daughter felt uncomfortable, right? And the majority of the school committee and the public and the mayor and all of those said that one girl's complaint wasn't enough.
Right.
Well, how many does it take then?
Right.
Right? If one person
if one girl got raped in
that
if one girl got raped in the bathroom, that wouldn't be enough?
Well, that's happened in another state. Right. That's happened in another state. Right. And I think that's the conversation that needs to be had. And it's not a discriminating conversation at all. It's just, how are we going to handle certain situations?
Discrimination is the weapon they use to silence people. Racism is the weapon they use to silence people. You'll notice that the people that attacked you were attacking you through the lens of, you're a hater. You hate. You're doing this through hate. And we have to protect. Even one crazy psycho got up there and said, I think it was Kelsey. If you're coming for, even DJ Beauregard said it on my show. I almost threw him off the show. He goes, if you're going to attack transgender kids, you're going to have to go through me. Like this Spartacus.
Yeah. Well,
right?
and here's my other take on this too. Like, if you're
not
asking my
attacking
personal
anyone.
opinion, that's fine. And if you're asking my opinion as like a board member or school committee member, that's fine too. But my personal opinion doesn't belong at the table.
Right.
My personal opinion has no place there.
Right.
My thoughts and my process and all of that comes from the public. That's where everything I say comes from. My personal beliefs don't matter.
Right.
That's not why I was elected. Right? So I just want everyone to like understand where I'm coming from when I do bring these things forward. They are tough conversations. They really are.
But they need to happen.
They do.
And they especially need
And
to
they
happen.
need to happen for cisgender students, transgender students, gay students, bi students. They need to happen. They need to happen for all students. If
advocating
we're
for
advocating
everyone.
for all students,
Right.
then let's do that.
So I'm gonna issue a challenge to DJ and Crybaby Kelsey Shibilia and Heather Plunkett and Jay Jalbert, who, by the way, gets up at every public participation, but never discloses that Brandi Kwong gave her husband a job. He works for the school system, so she pays her mortgage through the school system's
Well,
money.
and the things that were used, and I do want to say this, and I maybe shouldn't say this.
No,
but,
please say it.
Things that were said during public participation that was used to attack me were personal conversations that I had with Ms. Jalbert. We were
Yeah,
texting.
but shame on you for having those personal conversations with
we
them.
were texting.
You can't converse with those
and
people.
I said, if you have concerns or you'd like to have this conversation, please email me on my school committee email or text me on my school committee phone. And she said, no, we're in fact having a personal conversation. And then took things that I said, twisted them,
Right.
and
Right.
said what she said at public
Well,
participation.
they're liars. This is what they do, right?
So that's what hurt me the most.
Right.
Right.
But shame on you, though. That's on you.
It is on me.
Any elected official should know that when you're dealing with these kind of psychos, you don't engage with them because they're not trying to have a legitimate conversation where you both have different ideas, where you can kind of come to the middle and kind of understand each other. It's all about gotcha moments. It's all about trying to get you to say something or take a position that they can misrepresent so that they can get you, so they can silence you and call you a hater and call you a name and call you a racist or call you whatever. And I'm going to say this, with Psycho Heather and Jade Jalbert and Crybaby Kelsey Shibilia and the rest of the entire perv brigade that go to these meetings, you want to get up there and say, if we're going to attack transgender kids by talking about it, we have to go through you. I want you to listen to me very closely. If you're going to attack normal kids in the Methuen schools, you're going to have to go through me. And that's the reason why it's on the front page of my paper. And it's going to continue to be on the front page of my paper or in my paper or on my podcast moving forward from now on. Because if you're going to go after a cisgender, i.e. a normal kid, a normal 13-year-old girl in a bathroom who doesn't want a boy that grew up in her neighborhood walking in. Nobody said anything about transgender. This is a normal girl who doesn't want a normal boy in the bathroom. And if you're going to attack people and mischaracterize what's going on in order to advocate for that, you're going to go through me, and I'm going to make sure every conservative media on the planet knows about it. I'm going to make sure Howie Carr knows about it. I'm going to make sure Jeff Kuhner knows about it, and I'm going to make sure all the conservatives in the community, parents who don't want even liberal parents who don't want their kids to deal with this kind of crap in a school system where you're supposed to be teaching them how to read. How about just do that? How about just teach them how to read? You can't do that. You can't even do the job that we're paying you to do. But you want to do all this other crap? Why? To distract from the fact that kids can't read? That you're not doing your job? Please.
Well, and
Please.
that's something I always say, too. I truly want to keep politics out of school.
You can't. They won't allow it.
And when people say, like, oh, it's right, or oh, it's left, or oh, why does that matter?
Did you hear what Kelsey
Kids
said
aren't
about?
right
Did you hear
or
what Kelsey
left.
said? Kelsey Shibilia, Crybaby, said about the politics. She got up and she said, "People are accusing me of being political. This is political."
But it's not. But it's not. Like
But to them it is.
To kids, they don't have a right side or a left side. They're kids.
But this is their identity. Their political cult leaders tell them that you're supposed to take this position, and they just take it. And they don't even
But
think.
forcing that on other people is bullying.
I agree.
It is.
I agree. It's
They're
bullying.
violent.
I agree. It is. Silence is violence. Right? They sat silent while you were denigrated. That's violence against you, you know. according to their own worldview.
You know what? But they're passionate about something, and I respect that they have an opinion.
I don't.
They're passionate about bashing you? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to bash people.
Yeah.
Be passionate about your opinion. Bring your concerns forward, and that's fine.
They don't know how to do that. They got to make.
But they don't even have an opinion. They're just regurgitating what their political cult leaders tell them to regurgitate. And the proof is they cried about censorship for 2 friggin' hours at a Methuen School Committee meeting, and while they were doing it, pointed at you and said you should have been censored from talking about the topic. They're crying about book banning in a school when you're just asking for age-appropriate material, and then in the same breath said you shouldn't have been allowed to talk about it at a public school committee meeting. You are elected by the public to do exactly this. And they were mad that you weren't censored, and they wanted you to be censored. So they don't even believe what they say they believe in. And that's the most infuriating thing about all of this, is that I can respect Jonathan Guzman, who's chairman of the Lawrence School Committee. We have exact opposite views on everything, but he actually believes what he says. He actually is liberal. He actually does want open dialogue. He actually does want people to discuss these things. These clowns in Methuen don't. They're the gatekeepers of oppression. They want to talk about oppression, and I mock them with my oppression man stuff, but this is really what it's about. It's about shutting you the F up.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, but that's where we are. Otherwise, how else do you explain a 2-hour meeting that the mayor allowed, even though there's a policy?
2-hour public participation.
Right.
It wasn't
much of a meeting, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, before we go, so what else is going on? You got reelected. By the way, congratulations. You did great. I know that you were unhappy about where you placed. However, you have to remember, and I don't think most people know this, I blew it out last week.
Congratulations, Kristen.
100%.
David Consoli said Kristen Maxwell should be nominated for an award at the Bash this year.
I agree. We should do something for her this year.
Only if you come.
Well,
David.
yeah, is he going to come though?
Yeah,
That's the thing. We don't
come.
know if he's going to come.
No flights around that time.
I do want to say too. I like this girl, right? This girl who went to her mom and spoke to her mom, and her mom.
Can you imagine how humiliated she must have been?
She was so. The mom was so brave to sit there in that room for 2.5 hours while they attacked me for an issue that she had brought forward, right? How is this girl ever supposed to feel comfortable going to her mother with another problem?
Right. And by the way, that's why they attacked you, and that's why they attacked Ken, and that's why they attacked her. This was to send a signal to any other parent that thinks about complaining about this stuff. This could be you. If you speak out, you're going to be the Nazi.
Well,
you're going to be the book banner.
I guess the point you need to pay attention to is there are policies, and you can opt your child out of certain curriculum. Sex ed, you can opt out of mental health surveys. You can opt out of the bathroom. You can go to
But you can't unless you change the policy. You have to change the policy and take out the language about the totality of the material.
So the totality of the material is within the law. It's not within our policy.
Right, but you can
go beyond
that law, and you can say if it's anything that has to do with any sexual material.
Which is the point that I was trying to make about the LGBTQ plus curriculum when I asked about
the
that.
The what curriculum?
So that was a conversation on one of our agendas, and I had asked what is our curriculum for that, and they said that we don't have one, but we have to go forward with this federal law. And I said, but why do we have to stop at this federal law that says that we can only exempt people from religious beliefs?
Right.
Why can't we extend it?
Right.
We do have to do the bare minimum.
The law did not say only for religious beliefs.
That one did, the Muhammad verse.
It didn't say that only for religion. It said you have to do it for religious beliefs. But they didn't say only religious beliefs.
Right, but even if they did, why can't we say we're going to do it for religious beliefs and beyond?
Right. How about I just don't like it? How about I don't like my 13-year-old daughter having to sit in the classroom and forget the sex part. How about calling black people the N-word? To me, that's even worse than the sex part. Is it's more explosive because it makes people all worked up, right? Because that's what people respond to. But I thought we were at a point where white, privileged, rich white people of privilege, people with their white privilege, shouldn't be sitting in a white school with a white teacher with white students reading the N-word out loud and denigrating Indians. I don't give a shit who wrote the book. You denigrated Indians and you denigrated black people. And if I took that passage and I went to the NAACP or I went to any civil rights organization and said this is being read in a classroom in a white neighborhood, in a white neighborhood, in a white school with a white teacher with white kids, I'm pretty sure they'd be beyond furious. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that there'd be civil rights lawsuits being filed.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, somebody might have. I'm not saying that that it did, but somebody might have sent copies of your meeting and the copies of the material from that book to some civil rights organizations. So don't be too surprised if somewhere down the line a civil rights group shows up at a meeting and Methuen has some serious legal issues to deal with. Because, as I said, a kid walks into another classroom or the cafeteria and repeats out loud what's in that book that was read by a teacher in class. And that kid is in big trouble.
Well, 30 grown-ups, and most of them are politicians, are buying the book and meeting up at the library to discuss the book and the girls' feelings on it.
And didn't the school committee move the meeting so that they could discuss the book? So a school committee meeting about making sure that kids can read, because they can't do that. They can't teach kids how to read and so on. That's been put on hold. That's been postponed. So we can read the Chocolate Diary of Anal Sex. That's basically what we're doing, right?
Diary.
I'm just saying that's what it is, right? So they're gonna get everyone in the room so that we can have conversations about why we feel, And by the way, if all of the school board members, I'm curious now. I'm gonna have to think about this. If all the school board members are there and they're talking about this and it's part of the curriculum, isn't that a violation of the open meeting law? I'm pretty sure it is. In fact,
I
Wait
mean,
for it to
I
happen.
was planning on going as a parent, but I'm not going to go at all anymore because I didn't realize that, we were going to go sit and kumbaya over.
Tom, don't say it. You should have said it. So it could have happened, and then a complaint will be filed.
Listen, they're not going to not go because of me. Trust me. They don't care. These are not people who care about rules.
So they will get a complaint filed.
I'll file it myself.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks from this past Monday, right?
I think it's December 2nd.
Oh, it's in December. Okay. All right. She still got
Which
2
is
weeks.
2
Tuesday.
weeks. Yeah.
So, yeah, as soon as that meeting happens, if I find out that there's a quorum,
3 weeks.
if I find out that there's a quorum at that meeting, I will file an open meeting law complaint.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that myself and Ken won't be there, so,
Right.
or maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, I'm still waiting for the superintendent had that illegal campaign rally in her office, in the superintendent's office, on school department property for a school committee candidate where they were chanting, vote for Martha, vote for Martha. I asked for the video footage outside the superintendent's office for the time before and after that, and I am still waiting. So I did.
I mean, I'm still waiting on public documents that I requested from June about our special education department.
What can we do about not getting those requests?
So I sent a complaint to the Secretary of State's office, and they have to move on it. So
I did too.
Now that the election's over, the paper's out, I've gotten a little bit of rest. Obviously, just look at me, I haven't had enough. But within the next few days, well, tomorrow's Friday, so probably Monday and Tuesday next week, I'm going to hit the ground running on. I have 2 public records requests I'm waiting on in Methuen. I have 2 in Lawrence that I'm waiting on. I know she's got a bunch that she's waiting on, and we're gonna just start moving forward with that. I mean,
Freaking Democrats.
I also filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office for Brandi Kwong having an illegal campaign rally in her office.
You did?
And yes, I did, and I sent them a copy of the emails that were forwarded to me, and where she admits. Here's the thing: it's one thing to do it; it's another thing to be so friggin' arrogant that you admit it in an email and then dismiss it in the email. Go, yeah, but it was just one thing. Yeah, we were chanting vote for Martha, but it just kind of happened. It wasn't planned. Well, I don't think that the Massachusetts state law has any kind of a loophole for that. I don't think there's a provision that says
to have parties.
You're not supposed to have any parties at all, right? I mean, kids aren't allowed to have cupcake parties or pizza parties.
And teachers who have been in the district for 20, 25 years and they retire, they can't have parties at the schools. They have to have them at night.
Right. But for Martha,
Really? A retirement party?
Yeah, they're not allowed to have
right.
them.
But Martha could have one because Martha's in with the administration. And by the way,
this isn't a reflection on Martha, though.
I was just going to say that. Thank you for saying that. This is not about Martha because it's her boss doing it. And what are you going to say? No?
Yeah.
They're going to say, no, boss, please don't do that for me. So I know I get attacked anytime I mention her name because she's very well liked. However, it's not about her. And listen, if you can't expose bad things that are happening, if it involves people that we like, then suddenly we're not a nation of laws anymore. We're a nation of men. And it's going to depend on who's doing it.
So I want to touch on that really quick because when you say that, it sparks a huge conversation for me. If I'm asking you questions and I'm questioning things that you're doing or not doing or something like that, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm not trying to say that you're not doing a good job. I'm not trying to say anything about the way you're doing things. I'm questioning things, right? It doesn't mean I want you to, it means nothing, right? Being held accountable and creating a place of toxicity are two very different things. When you hold people accountable and they don't like that because they can't sweep it under the rug, you are now targeted as a bully or you're creating a hostile environment. And I just want to make that very clear that that's never my intent. And we have already a hostile environment within the schools in Methuen that shows in the audit that we're trying to get a special meeting for. The city council is actually trying to do a joint meeting that they've requested
$140,000. $140,000 for an audit.
Yeah.
That told them everything you and Ken have been saying for 2 years.
Beyond
they could,
2 years.
They could. What's that?
Beyond 2 years.
For how long?
At least 5, because
Really?
I was talking about things
When you were a parent.
when I was a parent.
So the things that you brought to the table that they dismissed because they're just that's just what they do. They sweep everything under the rug. The city spent $140,000 for outsiders.
And we're still not talking about
for
it.
outsiders to come in and validate everything that you've said, and now we're not doing anything with that audit. Like, have any
Correct.
proposed changes actually taken place?
Nope.
No, that's kind of weird.
No,
right?
and I've requested executive sessions. I've requested special meetings, and mine have gotten denied. But hopefully, the joint school committee city council meeting happens again soon because it's been asked for 3 times.
Yep.
But
What can parents do to support
show
this?
up.
Show up.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can't be retaliated against, and your kids won't be retaliated against. And if you speak up, it's not for just your child. It's for the other children too. You know, everyone deserves an education. Everyone deserves to read. Everyone deserves to learn math. Everyone deserves to learn history and science. Right? All the other stuff shouldn't happen until we're at 100% literacy rate.
Right.
And I know that's like not going to happen. I'm not ridiculous.
And we're
I
not
know that
shooting
that's
for
an
100%, but how about do
unattainable
your
goal.
job?
Right, but get there.
Right.
We're declining.
Right.
Yeah.
The number of kids that can read at grade level is
Last year it was 34%.
that's outrageous.
Wow.
And I believe this year it's 27.
Oh
That's-
my God.
that's
That's on the DESE
outrageous.
MCAS website.
Okay, so let's take those numbers and then start asking ourselves as a community, is it really any wonder why they want to talk about the chocolate factor, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, anal sex,
So I had a
masturbation
teacher tell me
stuff?
that 2% or something, I think it was 2% of her class is reading at grade level.
Right.
And so that's what,
What?
one student?
So,
Or-
so is it any
Two.
wonder why they want to distract us with all this other baloney? Is it any wonder why they want all these other things talked about in the community, and they want to whip up book banning, and they want to talk about Nazis, and they want to talk about Trump, and they want to talk about ICE? Because what they can't talk about is the fact that they're not doing their job. And I think one of the most troubling things of all of this, since I actually started paying attention to what's going on in the Methuen schools in January, is that we had a debate here, right here in this room, the Thursday before the election, with all the at-large Methuen City Council
Tuesday.
candidates. Or was it Tuesday?
Yeah, it was-
And I asked every candidate, there were 6 of them, and I asked every candidate, do you not hold to teachers, because we had a long conversation about it. At the end, they were like, it's the parents' fault, it's the state's fault. I said, do none of you hold the teachers responsible for the fact that like less than a third of the kids can read at grade level? And all of them said no.
Well, let me
All of them, like 6
let me
of
comment
6.
on that, because our teachers are telling us. Our teachers are speaking up. We had 38 teachers talk at public participation during budget cycle, talking about how our kids aren't reading at grade level. 38 teachers. And they said they need help and they need support, and we're not listening. Well, that's the problem. The teachers are asking for help and support. And they're handed a new curriculum this year, and it's supposed to be a really great curriculum, and it's all well and good, but it's really hard for them to get into the groove of this curriculum.
Right.
They're switching a curriculum every 3 years. So you're not going to see the benefit of this curriculum for another 2 years.
It's amazing how you defend the teachers, and you even get me to the point where I'm agreeing with you with what you just said.
I know she's good.
And then, when it came time for you to run for re-election, they just circled the wagons and savaged
Because
you.
it's not about me, and it's not about the teachers. It's about the kids.
Right. Well, you're a better person than I am, because if they were savaging me the way they were savaging
I'll always
you,
speak up for them, even if they hate me, even if
well,
they write
it's apparent
a letter
that they
about
do.
me.
It's apparent that they do. But you're a much better person than I am, because as you saw at the beginning of the show, you know, once I've been attacked and I've decided I've had enough, then I'm not being nice anymore. Like, I'm too old for this shit.
Well, I was quiet for a very long time. I didn't let it bother. I mean, I let it bother me. I took it home with me. It was bad. I didn't want to run for re-election.
I know. I had to talk you into it.
I almost pulled out, you know. But now it's just like,
You're used to it.
well, not that I'm used to it. It's just, you want to hate me for trying to do the right thing, then so be it.
Right.
Hate me for trying to do the right thing, but I'm going to continue to do it. And this time, I'm not going to shy away from the conversation. I'm not going to stop talking, and I'm not going to stop asking questions. And if it makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but you've made too many people uncomfortable for far too long.
The real tragedy in all this is that Laurie Keegan got reelected. I have hope.
I hope we can work.
You're not going to be able to work with her, but I have hope, though, that maybe Martha is someone that you will be able to work with. And
I've had good conversations.
She did come over, and she was very brave. She came over and had a conversation with me one night. We were at the Irish Cottage, and although I kind of joked about our conversation for at least 3 shows in a row, because she does have that liberal educator mindset, I still saw in her a willingness and a want to understand the other side and to come to the middle. And I wish that we had longer to talk, and I hope that at some point we can have lunch. But I'm hoping, and again, I was hoping for DJ too, and look where that got me. But I'm hoping that she is going to be with you on some things. That she is going to break with that solid Perv Brigade group that Laurie and Kelsey and Dan put together, and that once she's independent and no longer under the thumb of the administration, she's going to be able to do that. Now, maybe I'm going to turn out to be wrong, but I'm a little bit more optimistic with that. But otherwise,
I have hope.
Otherwise, it's you and Ken. And on a good day, Nick DeZoglio, and that's 3, and you need 4. And so no matter what you do, unless you can bring Martha to the middle, you're never going to bring Laurie to the middle. You're not gonna, and Mary Beth Donovan is just hopeless.
Well, here's where everyone is confused, right? The parents have more say than they think they do.
Okay.
Show up and talk and defend your kids and say what you want, and you have control over the schools.
Right.
You have a voice. You just have to show up and not be afraid of the big monsters.
All right, we have
Monsters
to go. We have to go to Tomo.
Well, we have this picture. We never asked me to show.
Oh yeah, so I want to let's thank the Punishers. These guys are great. So they made me an honorary Punisher. This was such a great night.
I got a sweatshirt coming.
Do you really? Good for you. Good for you. So they were having
pretty there.
They were look how beautiful she is.
Right?
So they were having a toy drive at Brownie's, which is on Hampstead Street in Methuen, and the guy who's the second from the left with the beard, that's Scott Mendes, and the woman who's to my left with the blonde hair, that's Jen Mendes, and their daughter won our Methuen High School scholarship at our bash this year. That was Abby's. Those are Abby's parents.
Is she the one that's going to school for like psychology or something?
No, she's going to be special needs teacher.
Yes, a special needs
Right?
teacher. Right.
So,
nice.
So they're a member of this Punishers group. It's a motorcycle group, and they asked me to come to their toy drive, and they said, we want you. Please, Tom, don't even pay at the door. Just come. We want you to come. And so I pulled up, and they had a parking space blocked off for me with my name on it.
You're
and
lying.
I know I'm not. And then I walked in, and I pulled out my checkbook because I wanted to make a donation for the toy drive. And I wrote the check, and they took the check, and they ripped it up and said, your money's no good here. Then they walked me to a table, and there was food and drinks already at the table when I sat down. Yes, Kristen Maxwell came with us. That's why she's in the picture, right? And so I went and I tried to buy raffle tickets, and they wouldn't take my money. So when they weren't looking, I threw $20 into the box just so I could contribute something. And then when I was leaving, they said, no, you can't leave yet. We want to present you with a sweater and make you an honorary Punisher. And so this was from Saturday night last week at Brownie's in Methuen. It was really nice. You get the guy to my left is Steve, and then the guy with the beard looks like he's got a So you have a cigar in his mouth.
It looks like it, yeah.
Is Steve, and then the guy to his left is Mike. Okay. And it's amazing that I remember those names, but I was having such a good time. And then to my right in the photo is Jen Mendes, and then of course Kristen Maxwell, who looks like she's in high school. It's like unbelievable,
right?
right?
I need the tricks.
Right? She looks amazing. And I want to thank those guys, A, for doing the toy drive, for helping the community. Most people don't think of biker gangs. Maybe gang is the wrong word, but biker organizations as charitable groups because of shows like Sons of Anarchy and the reputation of the Hells Angels and some of that stuff. But a lot of these organizations, a lot of these biker clubs have become exactly that over the years. And I know the Hells Angels still has some issues. We tried to get them to the bash this year. A couple of them had called and said they wanted to come and then ended up not coming.
I never knew about this bash. I'm super excited about this.
You've never been to the bash?
No.
She's never been to the bash. Oh, she's going to have so much fun. She's going to have so much fun. We raised $70,000 for scholarships last year.
While a lot of emotion.
Yeah, while the teachers are out trashing me, it's the only, I'm on the wagon, except for one night a year I get drunk.
Oh, you do? You drink at this?
I come in drunk, and I drink the entire time I'm there, which is why my keynote speech is always fucking hilarious. Right? I go back, I watch those speeches like years later, and I go, God, like I go back and the one from 2018 was probably the funniest one that I ever did. Mm-hmm. I go back and I watch it, I go, oh my God, I really should be a comedian, but I would have to do it drunk, because sober I could never do that. Like I couldn't do it. And
the drinks don't stop. Like you'll have 3 at the time. Like at the same time, people just send them drinks.
Yeah, people keep sending drinks up to the front.
I got drunk that day too.
So we have a new partnership with the Elks this year. We used to be at the Firefighters Relief. It kind of screwed us last year. So we went to the Elks, and they've been really good to us. And we raised $70,000, which is I am still blown away. I don't think we can do that again this year. I'm shooting for maybe 50 or 60 if we're lucky. But we are going to have our first Bash Committee meeting. We're very late. We usually have it in September. It's going to be Sunday at Salvatore's at 6:30. Well, I will say 6 because people show up at 6:30. At 6 o'clock. So those of you who are part of the Bash Committee, it's Sunday at Salvatore's at 6. For those of you who want to join, we had people like Scott and Jen Mendes, whose daughter got a scholarship last year, want to join. Also, Michelle Delano wanted to join. Her daughter got a scholarship last year. We will have her at the meeting too. Anybody that wants to join, we give out awards to hero police officers, firefighters, and veterans. We also give awards out to people that help the community through helping the homeless. And then we give out scholarships. We have 7. Did we 7 last year, I think? Lawrence High School, Methuen High School, the Voc, Haverhill, Whittier,
North Andover or Andover?
And the Cody in North Andover. So 6. We have 6 scholarships. I'm thinking about maybe merging Whittier and Haverhill.
Okay.
So we were going to do that last year, and then we ended up with Natalie Delano, who's turned out to be a superstar. So we did both. But
Natalie, she's doing so good.
We had some pushback from Dan Strange's family on the Haverhill one, and there's internal fighting, so they're all mad that one person got to get up at the microphone and another uncle wasn't there, and so we have a lot of dynamics when somebody dies like that. I certainly had it in my family. So I don't know if we're going to merge Whittier and Haverhill. Maybe we'll do one year we'll do Whittier, the next year we'll do Haverhill. We haven't worked that out yet, but we're going to work it out on Sunday. We have Salvatore's, so if Michael Agricola is watching, as he always does, even when he's on vacation, we're going to need our special spot for the Bash Committee meeting, and we'll have intern girl will be there. And if you want to, I know you have so many meetings that you go to. If you want to join, you can. That's fine. If you don't,
would love to.
If you don't, then you want to just come to the event. That's always fun to have. And every single candidate that asked me on election night.
My husband will kill me, but I would love to join another committee.
We're going to be doing a read aloud of the Chocolate Diary of a Part-Time Indian, whatever that's called.
I'm out.
Where were we? Okay, so so if you want to join the Bash Committee, we're going to be doing that Sunday, and we're going to start doing. It's going to be every other week, so every other Sunday. And I know that I had candidates, Patricia Valley and the future Mrs. Duggan said to me on election night, Tom, you were so helpful to us. You've never asked for anything. You didn't ask us to buy full-page ads. You didn't ask us, and what can we do for you? Is there anything we can do to help you? And I said, when the bash comes, all I ask is contribute to the kids, get a table if you can, bring your friends, and have a good time. I love it. My favorite moment of the year every year My favorite moment. Most people can't do this. I can pinpoint a favorite moment of every year. It's when I get up to give my keynote speech and I look around the room and I see all the people who help these kids, all the people in the community who are friends, and all the people in the room, at least a third of that room hates my guts. And I say this every year, and it's 100% true. Every year I get up and I look around, I take a deep breath, I count to 10, and I take note of all the people in the room who hate me, and yet they're there anyway, because they know that 100% of what they donate goes directly to the kid. Because we keep a running total on Facebook. Somebody donates $1, we say that dollar is going to the Lawrence High Scholarship. Here's the kid that it's going to. The total was $4,000 before, now it's $4,001. The donor gets to see where it's going, and the recipient, the kid and his parents, get to see. So that night when we write a check, everyone knows what they're getting. Like, there's no overhead cost, there's no anything. So when I get up and I get to start to give my keynote speech, and I take note of obviously the friends and the people that I helped. But as important, if not more, is that there are grown-ups in the community who don't like me, who come anyway, because they appreciate what we're doing for the kids and they want to be part of it. And that takes a big person in this political climate. So when I get up there and I see certain city councilors that hate me, when I see certain state senators that hate me, we've had congressmen show up that wouldn't say hi to me a week earlier when I ran into them in Market Basket, and they come anyway because they recognize that this is an event that is giving to the kids. To me, that's my favorite moment of the year, because I get to look and I get to say, I was able to put something together. I was able to pull these people together in a room, despite the fact that we have some serious opinion issues that we don't agree
Because
with.
adult problems have nothing to do with children.
Right. And I also notice who's not in the room. I also kind of take mental note of, say it again? Oh, like Dave Consoli?
Aw,
just
Dave.
kidding.
Aw, David.
He was stuck in an
When is he
airport.
going to come to the show?
Yeah, we need him back now with the elections
I
over.
like when he's
He
Anyways.
actually did an interview with me.
Did he really?
My first school committee run
kidding.
with Dan Shabilia on
No
your
kidding.
show when you were in the hospital.
Oh, that's right.
He interviewed me, and
Right.
I saw him at an event recently, and he was like, you've done so well. You've come out of your shell a little bit.
Yep.
Because I was so nervous when I was talking to him. But he remembered.
He's great. He's a great guy.
He was
Hi,
so
Dave.
good. I was dying. I was literally on death's door.
He's funny, too.
He's a very funny guy. The one thing that drives me crazy about him is he's the typical Italian. He's so hard on himself, right? Like he can't just enjoy it. He has to labor over what he did wrong, right?
He punishes himself, yeah.
He does, and he's such a good guy. And he's smart and he's funny. And I think if he relaxed a little bit more and stopped being so Italian, like stop thinking about how Italian you are, stop talking about how Italian you are, and just kind of relax and have fun. I watched some of those. So I was in the hospital, right? So I died twice. I'm in a coma. I come out of the coma. I still don't even really know a lot. Like I just remembered who I was. Like I was out of the coma for like 4 days when I remembered my name for the first time, right? So within a couple of days, I'm still trying to remember things, right? And Nancy brought me my laptop. So I can't type. I can't do anything. My hands are like this, right? I can't do anything, but I can do it with my knuckles. So I had the nurse come in and say, "Can you go to YouTube? Can you pull this up?" And I watched all of Dave's shows, and I watched your show with Dave, and he was great. He was great, and he was funny, and he had his what do you call it? Flash mob thing that he did, not the where he asked like 3 questions. Did you do that? Like this or that kind of thing? Like, would you rather?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
I forget what he called it. We should do that again. Like, we should bring that back because that was actually pretty popular. But he did a good job. He did a great job.
He did do that. I remember now.
And he's
because
just
I was
so
scared.
hard on himself. And I think it's because he's just around so many really strong women in his life. Like, I give him a hard time about it, but he's around so many strong women in his life that I think he's just always second-guessing himself. And I think if he just relaxed a little bit more, he'd be even 10 times better. We got to have him back on the show. He's a good guy, and I appreciate his friendship. And even if he never bought another ad from me ever again, I really appreciate the contribution that he makes to the show. So anyways, let's just stay here for the rest of the afternoon, just chat.
No, let's go eat, please.
You wanna have... All right, so we're going to go to Tomo, right?
Yep. I've been inviting people low-key.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
All right, because we want Debo to show up. That's what we really want, right?
No, don't say that.
So you're inviting people to Tomo for our private dinner?
No, we were all... No, you don't want me to...
Or you're coming, right? Or you can't because it's like 3 o'clock.
Let me text Jana, too.
There's no such thing as just going out with intern girls.
I do want to thank Mike Gagliotti because
The midget.
local 175 did endorse me. I didn't ask for endorsements, and I didn't expect endorsements because to me, and I know this is going to sound so cliche, but to me, the only endorsement or the only person that I need supporting me are the parents. So, but I do want to give him a big shout out and a big thank you because he stood behind me when a lot of people said they did and didn't. So
Mike Gagliotti is a tremendous friend. Believe it or not, even though he's a left-wing lunatic, a president of a labor union and all that means, he has been in 21 years in a row, he has been the highest financial backer of the Valley Patriot, going back to the very first edition. The very first Valley Patriot in 2004, he was with us. He's been with us every year since. He buys ads to endorse candidates. He floats us loans when we needed it through COVID. He's been very good about buying ads even when he doesn't need it, when he finds out that, maybe we're having every year we have a hard time. Just December, January, February, our revenue goes down because we don't get any of the Christmas business because we're a monthly, not a weekly. And so he will buy extra ads just to try and help us out without us even asking. So I love that guy. He gave us $5,000 for scholarship money last year for the bash. He doesn't come every year. He hasn't been here since 2014. I think it was the last time he was at the bash. But he gives money every year. And he doesn't just give money for the scholarships. He buys a table and donates it to people. He buys an ad in the program book. He contributes in a lot of different ways. And so being a right-wing lunatic myself, being friends with a left-wing lunatic like him and having him be our financial backer is more of an honor because he's left-wing, because he's not conservative, because he's not what I am. I appreciate that more.
I just hate the right and left. There's right and wrong.
I know. I know. But this is the culture that we're in. And, I was at let's just stay on the air for the rest of the afternoon. I was at Jonathan Guzman's fundraiser. Now, Jonathan's as left-wing as they come. Like, he thinks Elizabeth Warren's too conservative, right? Like, he's really, really left-wing. Like, really left-wing. And so I came to the door, and you would have thought, like, somebody just run over a baby. They were like, Tom, you do realize this is Jonathan Guzman's. This is Jonathan Guzman's fundraiser. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to support him. They're like, Jonathan Guzman. I'm like, yeah, like the guy in the school committee. I'm like, yeah. You're here to support him. I'm like, yeah. Do you want my check or don't you?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, we'll take your check. And then I went and I sat down and I watched people come in and look at everybody and smile and say hi and then see me and go, wait, what? So when Jonathan did his speech, he said, and I want to point out, a lot of people have mentioned, Tom Duggan's here tonight. And I had a round of applause from these left-wing lunatics. And he said, and the reason he's here is because we can disagree on politics, but we both agree that reading and academics is the most important thing that should be going on in the classroom. And so we are able to put our differences aside, and we are able to go to lunch once a month at Salvatore's, and we are able to work together on a campaign, even though we don't agree on politics because we both agree the kids come first. It was one of the greatest, for me, that was one of the greatest compliments I'd gotten from anybody because it didn't come from someone who agrees with my view. It didn't come from someone that that owed me anything. It wasn't somebody I'd lent money to. It was just a guy that had a very different view that also recognized that as a community, we need to come together.
Yep.
Right?
For the kids.
And so when Brian called me all upset, well, it wasn't Brian himself, but when someone on Brian's team called me all upset and said, are you doing, is that Photoshopped? There's a picture of you and Jonathan Guzman on Facebook and his fundraiser. You're not at his fundraiser, right? And I'm like, no, I am his fundraiser. Well, the man hates him, and I'm like, and
yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's not part of our team. Like he hates the mayor. He attacks the mayor. I'm like, yeah, I get that.
None of that matters.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yep. All right.
All right, Mel.
I guess. So do you have anything else for us, intern girl? Join us tomorrow night at Faux City at the Loop.
8:30.
8:30 at the 8. Well, no, you can't say 8:30 because people start showing up at 9. Right.
So 8 p.m.
So like you want to get there at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, right?
Okay. And tonight is the veteran dinner at Elks at 6 p.m.
Is it really?
Yes.
Are you going?
No, I'm not a veteran.
Oh, I mean, like, okay. Like I would go just to like cover it and contribute money and help them out, right?
So no Tomo?
No, we're going to Tomo for sure.
Okay.
100%.
I also owe you a huge thank you.
You owe me a huge thank you for what? Oh, for
sure
talking
do.
you out of dropping out of the race?
Yeah, because there were two people that really pushed me to not drop out, and you were one of them. And I don't know how to thank you for that. And
Yes, you do. Show up at the bash, have a good time, have a few drinks.
Yeah.
You
know what? When
donate a few dollars to the kids.
When everybody was against me, you were with me, and I appreciate your support.
Aw.
More than I can
Aw.
verbalize. So
Don't cry.
thank you.
All right, well, you know what? Then maybe we can find some other way that you can help me out. There's another way that you can pay me back. All right, let's take our sponsors. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate. I didn't realize we've been on for 2 hours. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate. Zany Pesh. They're Italian, you know. You know they're Italian? They're Italian. You know that they're Italian? They are Italian. No question that they are Italian. And if you're not sure, you just hang out with them for 4 seconds. You'll hear Vinny talk about how Italian he is. Jane is the sexiest woman alive's first husband. On the go notary. Now she's on the floor laughing. I knew I'd get you there at some point. Marsan and Son Construction. Good job, by the way, Ronnie Marsan. Topping the ticket in the East End. EIS Investigation and Gun Training. Tomo and Shaken Seafood. You got to try the Kamikaze. It's amazing, and the Godzilla is pretty good too. Clear Path for Veterans New England. AFC Urgent Care. Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors, Dave Idconsoli, Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office, W3ON, a free shout out to JG's Ice Cream. I love those guys. Total Mortgage, a free shout out to her, and another free shout out to my buddy Paul Lambert. Coming on board next week, Brando's in Haverhill. Sounds like Melvin Taylor says you got to go home. Is that what he's saying, the intern girl?
No. All right, let's go to Tomo. I'm hungry.
All right, go home already.